The year is 1998. Somewhere on the German Autobahn, a silver sedan quietly cruises in the right lane surrounded by ordinary family cars. There are no oversized spoilers, no racing stripes, no dramatic exhaust pops, and nothing about it screams supercar. Then the road opens up. The driver presses the accelerator, the naturally aspirated V8 comes alive, and within seconds the calm executive sedan disappears toward the horizon, leaving far more exotic machines wondering what just happened. That car was the BMW E39 M5, and for many enthusiasts, it wasn't simply another fast BMW, it became the greatest sports sedan ever built. Personally, I think the E39 M5 represents a perfect balance that the automotive industry has been chasing ever since. It wasn't the most powerful car of its era, nor the most technologically advanced, but it managed to combine performance, luxury, practicality, and driver involvement in a way that very few cars have ever matched. To understand why the E39 M5 became such a legend, we have to go back to the mid-1990s. BMW had already built a strong reputation with previous generations of the M5, especially the E28 and E34, both powered by naturally aspirated inline-six engines that delivered incredible driving experiences. But by the time the new E39 5 Series was nearing production, expectations had changed dramatically. Mercedes-Benz was becoming increasingly aggressive with AMG, Audi continued improving its Quattro performance models, and buyers wanted more power without sacrificing everyday comfort. BMW's M division knew that simply updating the previous formula wouldn't be enough. They needed to create something completely new. For the first time in M5 history, BMW engineers decided to abandon the legendary straight six and develop a V8 specifically for their flagship sports sedan. The result was the remarkable S62, a 4.9-liter naturally aspirated V8 producing 394 horsepower and 369 lb-ft of torque. But raw numbers only tell part of the story. The S62 featured individual throttle bodies, double Vanos variable valve timing, a lightweight aluminum construction, and an engine response so immediate that every touch of the throttle felt connected directly to the driver's right foot. Even today, many enthusiasts consider it one of the greatest naturally aspirated V8 engines ever installed in a production sedan. Unlike many performance cars that demanded sacrifices, the E39 M5 was designed to do everything exceptionally well. During the week it could carry 5 adults in complete comfort, handle long highway journeys effortlessly, and provide all the refinement expected from a premium executive sedan. Then, on a quiet mountain road or an unrestricted section of the Autobahn, it transformed into something entirely different. The 6-speed manual gearbox, perfectly balanced rear-wheel drive chassis, and near 50/50 weight distribution gave drivers an experience that felt both incredibly precise and surprisingly approachable. BMW didn't want to build the fastest car on the road, they wanted to build the best driver's sedan in the world. And judging by the reputation the E39 M5 still enjoys more than 25 years later, many people believe they succeeded. Visually, the car reflected the same philosophy. There were no exaggerated body kits or unnecessary styling tricks. Slightly wider bumpers, quad exhaust tips, elegant M wheels, subtle side mirrors, and discreet M badges were enough. It looked like a successful businessman's luxury sedan, not a race car. That understated design became one of its greatest strengths because only enthusiasts truly understood what was hiding beneath the hood. Over the years, the E39 M5 also became one of the most respected platforms in BMW tuning culture. Companies like AC Schnitzer, Alpina, Hamann, Dinnan, and Eisenman offered tasteful upgrades ranging from suspension improvements and exhaust systems to engine tuning, while many owners preferred to leave the car almost completely stock, believing BMW had already achieved something close to perfection. Personally, I completely understand that perspective. The E39 M5 never needed giant horsepower figures or outrageous modifications to earn respect. It earned that respect through balance, precision, and engineering that still feels special decades later. Before anyone realized it, BMW had created much more than a faster 5 Series, they had created a benchmark that every sports sedan would be measured against for years to come. As incredible as the BMW E39 M5 was, what truly made it legendary wasn't just its engine or performance figures, it was the feeling it gave every time you got behind the wheel. BMW engineers obsessed over balance rather than chasing headline horsepower. The steering was hydraulic, delivering a level of feedback that many modern electric systems still struggle to replicate. The suspension was firm enough to attack corners with confidence yet compliant enough to make long-distance driving effortless. Every control felt perfectly weighted, from the clutch pedal to the gear shifter, creating an experience where the car seemed to respond almost instantly to every driver input. Personally, I think that's why so many enthusiasts still call the E39 M5 the greatest sports sedan ever built. It wasn't trying to overwhelm you with technology, it simply made you feel connected to the road. The competition during the late 1990s was fierce. Mercedes-Benz answered with the E55 AMG, powered by a naturally aspirated V8 that delivered incredible torque and effortless speed. The Mercedes felt brutal, refined, and incredibly comfortable, but its automatic transmission couldn't match the involvement offered by BMW's 6-speed manual. Audi entered the battle with the S6 and later the RS6, using quattro all-wheel drive to dominate in poor weather and deliver astonishing grip. Yet many enthusiasts believed the BMW struck the perfect balance between all three German philosophies. Mercedes offered luxury and muscle, Audi delivered technology and traction, while BMW focused on creating the ultimate driver's machine. On paper, the numbers were close, but behind the wheel the experience was completely different. The E39 M5 didn't simply accelerate, it communicated. Every corner, every gear change, every movement of the steering wheel reminded you that this was a car designed by people who genuinely loved driving. Of course, like every legendary car, the E39 M5 wasn't without its flaws. Owning one today requires understanding that it was a high-performance BMW built more than 2 decades ago. The Vano's variable valve timing system can become expensive to repair if neglected, cooling system components eventually wear with age, timing chain guides require attention on higher mileage cars, and the clutch isn't cheap to replace. Suspension bushings, control arms, and electronic sensors also need maintenance over time. But unlike many complicated modern performance cars, the E39 M5 rewards owners who take care of it. Countless examples have exceeded 200,000 or even 300,000 miles while continuing to deliver the same thrilling driving experience that made them famous in the first place. Another reason the E39 M5 became an icon was its influence on car culture. Unlike flashy supercars, it earned respect quietly. Business executives drove them to work during the week before heading to track days on weekends. Enthusiasts modified them with tasteful upgrades rather than extreme body kits. Companies like Dinnan, AC Schnitzer, Hamann, Eisenman, Supersprint, and KW developed performance parts that enhanced the car without destroying its original character. Larger brakes, improved suspension, lightweight wheels, intake systems, and carefully tuned exhausts became popular because owners understood that the E39 M5 didn't need to be reinvented, it only needed to be refined. Even today, many collectors believe a clean, well-maintained, mostly stock E39 M5 is more desirable than an aggressively modified one. The naturally aspirated S62 V8 remains one of BMW M Division's greatest achievements, especially in an era now dominated by turbocharging. It delivered its power progressively, encouraged drivers to explore the upper rev range, and produced a deep mechanical soundtrack that perfectly matched the car's understated personality. There were no artificial exhaust speakers or selectable drive modes constantly changing the character of the vehicle. What you felt was real, mechanical, and honest. Looking back today, it's remarkable how often the E39 M5 appears whenever enthusiasts debate the greatest driver's sedan ever built. Despite newer generations offering more horsepower, faster lap times, and significantly more technology, many still return to the E39 because of something that's impossible to measure on a specification sheet. Personally, I think that's the greatest compliment any automobile can receive. It wasn't remembered for having the biggest engine or the fastest acceleration, it was remembered because it made every journey feel special, proving that true greatness isn't always about being the quickest. Sometimes it's about creating an experience so complete that decades later people are still searching for something that feels exactly the same. The BMW E39 M5 wasn't the first fast sedan, and it certainly wasn't the last. Since its debut, manufacturers have built cars with twice the horsepower, all-wheel drive, dual-clutch transmissions, adaptive suspensions, and technology that BMW engineers in the late 1990s could only dream about. Yet despite all that progress, the E39 M5 continues to appear at the very top of almost every conversation about the greatest sports sedan ever built. Personally, I think that says far more than any lap time or horsepower figure ever could. The E39 M5 succeeded because it achieved something incredibly rare. It had no single defining feature, yet it excelled at everything. It was fast without being intimidating, luxurious without feeling disconnected, practical enough for everyday life, and engaging enough to make even an ordinary drive unforgettable. It represented a moment in automotive history when performance wasn't controlled by software, touchscreens, or endless driving modes. Instead, everything depended on the relationship between the driver, the naturally aspirated V8, the 6-speed manual gearbox, and one of the finest rear-wheel drive chassis BMW has ever engineered. That's a formula that has become increasingly rare in today's automotive world. Over the years, the E39 M5 has become more than just another BMW, it has become a benchmark. Every new sports sedan is inevitably compared to it, whether it's built by BMW, Mercedes-AMG, Audi, Cadillac, or Lexus. And while many modern cars are objectively faster, few manage to recreate the same feeling of confidence, balance, and mechanical honesty that made the E39 so special. Its values continue to rise, collectors search tirelessly for low-mileage examples, and enthusiasts around the world continue restoring, preserving, and driving these cars exactly as BMW intended. That's the true sign of an automotive icon. Great cars are remembered. Legendary cars become the standard by which everything else is judged. And more than 25 years later, the BMW E39 M5 remains one of those rare legends. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more stories about the legendary cars that shaped automotive history. Every subscription helps the channel continue bringing these incredible machines and their untold stories back to life. And now I have one question for you. If you had the keys to every legendary German sports sedan ever built, would you choose the BMW E39 M5, the Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG, or the Audi RS6? Let me know your choice and the reason why in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next documentary.